This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery, and now a national provider of hemp-derived CBD products over at easewellness.com, with ease spelled E-A-Z-E. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Friday, March 1st, 2019, and you're tuned in to episode 676 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Leading off today's top stories is the introduction yesterday of a proposed bill into the U.S. Senate to legalize adult use marijuana at the federal level. The Marijuana Justice Act was put forth by New Jersey Democratic Senator Cory Booker, who is also running for president, and was co-sponsored by a number of other Democratic presidential candidates like Senators Kirsten Gillibrand, Kamala Harris, Bernie Sanders, and Elizabeth Warren. There's practically no chance that the bill will be passed out of the Republican-controlled Senate, but it's still notable that it's happening. Besides making marijuana legal at the federal level, the Marijuana Justice Act would create community investment funds to set up programs like job training and community centers for areas that have been hit most hard by the negative effects of the war on drugs. It would also expunge the criminal records for people with certain low-level cannabis charges. While this bill will not become law, it's likely to provide a template for the future bill that will, so not a bad story to read in full. Keeping our sights pegged to Washington, D.C., we have California Congressional Representative Barbara Lee introducing 3 marijuana-related bills yesterday, the first of which is the House version of Senator Cory Booker's Marijuana Justice Act. Congresswoman Lee also put forth the Reefer Act, which would protect state legal marijuana from being persecuted by the feds, and the Respect Resolution, which would encourage local communities to set up programs to, quote, adopt best practices and take bold steps to address disparities in the cannabis marketplace and to address, reverse, and repair the effects of the war on drugs on communities of color, unquote. Pop over to Marijuana Moment for more on this one. As always, we have all the news we covered linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com and on our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily. Our final top story today and for the week is a piece in Green Market Report about the entrance of Martha Stewart into the legal cannabis game, specifically the CBD pet product vertical. Martha is working with Canadian giant Canopy Growth Corporation to develop a line of hemp-derived CBD products for pets through a previously announced deal with Sequential Brands Group, which holds a number of celebrity brands under its umbrella. The deal is notable both for the simple fact that Martha Stewart is kind of a big deal, and her being involved with legal marijuana is both a leading indicator and potential catalyst for further change, and for the fact that it's one of the first big American hemp-related deals for Canopy, which is flush with billions of dollars of investment cash after last year's mega deal with Constellation Brands. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out on headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery, and now a national provider of hemp-derived CBD products over at easewellness.com. Save 25% off the cost of select items today from Jetty over on Ease's Daily Deals. Just fill up your basket with those Jetty items and use the discount code JETTY, that's Jetty, to save 25%. And while you're doing that, you can peruse Ease's extensive menu of other legal cannabis products like flower, pre-rolls, topicals, tinctures, edibles, drops, capsules, tablets, concentrates, vaporizers, vape cartridges, and all the cannabis accessories one could need. Thanks to everyone at Ease for supporting today's news. All right, time for the Blitz. Vermont skates around the headlines as it continues to push for the creation of a taxed and regulated sales system, with an update yesterday coming out of the state Senate as it passed Senate Bill 54 by a vote of 23-5. The proposed bill, which will head over to the state house after one more procedural vote in the Senate, would set up a taxed and regulated sales system to complement the adult use bill passed by the legislature last year. Vermont Governor Phil Scott has stated that he will not sign off on any adult use bill that does not provide funding for drug education and high driver detection technology, the latter of which does not actually exist. So we'll have to see how the bill fares should it pass out of the House and land on his desk. California Senator Kamala Harris, a Democratic 2020 presidential candidate, took some time recently to sit down with The Root to talk about her evolution on marijuana policy. Senator Harris is a former prosecutor with a less than progressive history on marijuana and drug-related topics, but as she explains in the just-released interview with The Root, she's since come around to be in favor of full-blown adult use legalization. Open this one up and give it a watch. Digital Music News has a really good story up about the annual music festival Coachella, which takes place in California, but that explicitly banned the use of marijuana last year and is doing the same this year. The reason for that is the fact that Coachella is owned by a rabid right-wing prohibitionist billionaire Philip Anschutz, and he doesn't want people to get high at his events. So before you buy a ticket to Coachella, you might want to think about where your money is going. Speaking of cannabis and events, the city of San Francisco is taking steps to make it easier for people attending concerts and other large events to partake in some cannabis. On Wednesday, City Supervisor Raphael Mandelman introduced a proposed measure to allow the city to waive its strict anti-smoking laws for permitted events. The proposal will be voted on in committee next week before possibly going before the full board for consideration. Continuing on a storyline we've been covering this week with lots of new updates coming from federal officials over how industrial hemp and CBD products will be regulated, we have a new set of updates from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. On Wednesday, during hearings before the House Agriculture Committee, USDA Secretary Sonny Perdue said that his department was working to get rules and regulations in place ahead of next year's growing season. In Oklahoma, a proposed bill was passed out of the state's House of Representatives that codifies how the medical marijuana system voted in by voters in 2016 will work. The bill covers a number of issues like how dispensaries and cultivation facilities will be set up, but also dives into gun ownership and banking. It now heads over to the state Senate for deliberations there. And finally for today, the Swiss Parliament is considering a proposal to set up a 10-year academic study into the economic and social impacts of adult use cannabis. Under the proposed pilot program, up to 5,000 Swiss citizens would take part and would have access to certified cannabis products while also being studied in various ways. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again on Monday with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, send us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Ease, and to all of our awesome Patreon listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the Patreon listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.